Dear learners, welcome again to the class of Factors Affecting Cost. In our class today, we are going to have an understanding of various factors affecting cost. At the end of the class, students would have an understanding of effects of various factor inputs on cost of production. Various cost determinants are factors like levels of output, price of input factors, productivities of factors of production, size of plant, output stability, lot size, loss of returns, levels of capacity utilization, time period, technology, etc. Let us discuss these factors and their effect on the cost of production one by one. Levels of output. The cost of the factor production varies according to the quantum of the output produced. If a firm is able to produce larger outputs, automatically the cost per unit is going to fall. If the production level is higher, then the cost of production is going to be less and vice versa. Price of the input factors is another factor which has an impact on the factors affecting the cost of production. Naturally, when the cost of the input factors is high, this is going to have an impact on the cost of the production being higher. If the cost of the input factors can be maintained less, or we can have the input factors at a reasonable price, so our output will also be at a reasonable, affordable price. Productivity of the factors of production is another factor which has an impact on the cost of production. In case the productivity of the input factors is higher, then the cost of production is going to be less. And later, at a later stage, when we go on increasing the factors of production, then the productivity of factor is going to eventually drop, and then the cost of production is going to increase. Size of the factor, the size of the plant is another factor which affects the cost of production. A larger plant is going to produce larger quantity, and eventually the cost is going to be less per unit. On the other hand, if the size of the plant is smaller, then the cost of production is going to be higher. Stability in output is something which is going to keep the cost at a lesser price. The cost is going to be less when output is stable. Usually over a period of time, the output becomes stable and the cost of production reduces. If the output is not stable, then the cost of production is going to be more. Lot size, larger the size of the production per batch, then the cost of production will be reduced because of the application of economies of scale. The larger we produce, the lesser is the cost. And this is what we understand by economies of scale. Law of return is applicable during initial stages when we increase the factors. The productivity of factor is more, and eventually when we go on increasing this particular factor, the returns or the outcome or the output of these factors start to reduce. Level of capacity utilization. At higher level of the capacity utilization, the plant can afford to have lower cost of production. In case the firm is utilizing lesser capacity, in this particular case, the cost is going to be more. Normally, in the long run, the cost of production becomes stable and this reduces the cost. So time period plays an important role in reducing the cost of production. Technology is another factor which has an impact on the cost of the production or the cost which is involved in productivity. So technology produces more outputs, and when we have more output, we can bring down the cost per unit, and this has a positive impact on the cost of production. Work on the cost of production, we have to have a look at these various factors, and then we can, as a firm, we can control the cost of production. Thank you.